Just let me know when you want me to do that.
I'm recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journeys and also Sandra's channel. We're both doing this on both of our channels. I've got Sandra Ellis with me here today. You'd like to be called Sandra Ellis, right? Because your name
McEllis,
is
Sandra,
yeah,
Sandy.
McEllis. Yeah, she likes, yeah, she's got lots of names. So yeah. I just want to make sure. But I've got my sister Sandra back with me today, and we're just having a discussion. I'm not interviewing her. She's not interviewing me. We're just talking like I did last time with Victoria on this on my channel, where we're just having a conversation about what's going on. And in this case, we want to talk to you a lot about the energy stuff going on the planet. We're going to talk a little bit about the current events, but just to tell you that we don't want to talk about current events. So my disclaimer is all of you keep sending me hundreds and hundreds of videos about convoys up in Canada and money program, you know, like Jasara and Nasara and all these different things and QFS and all these things. I keep getting hundreds of videos. I'm not supposed to talk about that. Why am I not supposed to talk about that? Because every time I go to that, my team yells at me and tells me, get my nose out of that playground. It's not my playground. I'm here as a spiritual teacher. The people who are doing the financial system are doing the financial system. I don't know anything about financial systems. I'm not a financial wizard. Okay. That's number one. The people dealing with politics, like people keep asking me, when's Mr. T coming back? When's this happening? You know what? I don't know. And they've been talking about it forever. And it's not my playground. It's not my duty. There's people who are in charge of that, and I'm letting them do their job. What is my job on earth? I have a purpose I came to earth for. It's divine truth, divine wisdom, divine justice. I'm here as an Essene Cathar spiritual teacher. Okay. So, and I'm even wearing my Cathar, one of my Cathar crosses and my Camargue cross in memory of the three Marys, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, and Mary, I think it's John's mother, that all landed in the south of France after Yeshua ascended. And then I have my Ankh, which is the symbol of eternal life. And this was given to the Egyptians by the Anunnaki because the ETs out in space use this symbol everywhere like crazy because it just represents eternal life. It also has to do with the law of one. So anyway, so that is my thing. I'm here as a spiritual teacher and an energy healer and an energy healing teacher and, you know, an esoteric Essene teacher, a metaphysician, you know, that's what I'm here for. So if you're coming to my channel wanting to know what's going on in Canada, what's going on in Washington, what's going on all over, this is the wrong channel. Okay. The only thing I will mention to you is right now I have a friend who sent me, I have a friend who follows where they're doing these like lightning strikes all over the planet. And it turns out every single one of the places that are being hit by this, she's following. It's like some weather watch or some kind of watch. They're using what are called directed energy weapons on certain areas. Well, we all know the bad guys have been using directed energy weapons on us for a really long time. Now the good guys are using them to take out, guess what? Dumbs. Okay. They're taking out dumbs. They're taking out places where they're doing adrenochrome labs. They're using it to take out evil dictators, and they're taking out all kinds of people with these things. And I have a friend that's been watching some website. Don't even ask me where it is. I have no clue, where you can actually go on the internet and follow where all these strikes are happening. And if you look at all the locations of all the strikes, they're all places where it is known that there are gazillions of dumbs underneath these areas. Okay. So that's the only conspiracy theory, as they call it a conspiracy theory, but we know it's the truth, right? That's the only one that I'm going to mention here today is that there's a lot of that. But other than that, what Sandra and I are here to talk about is what's going on in the world. Where are we at in the ascension process? I really want to Sandra and I to discuss that, where we're at in the ascension process, what's going on with the energy frequencies on the planet, because they're off the chart the last few days. And a lot of people are messaging me how sick they are and how horrible they feel. We want to talk about that. Sandra and I are really good at teaching you all how to navigate these energies. So we really want to kind of minister to you all today, minister to your hearts, your minds, your souls, what you need to do to make it through, because this coming year is going to be awesome And I have something I want to share with you all really quick. There's this guy on YouTube, okay, and I posted this on my Facebook page, but I want you all to go and check him out because he blew my mind last night. So let me go to YouTube really quick because I've got to share this with everybody. It's just amazing. So shoot, where is it? It's the library. Here we go. Here he is. Okay. Whoops. Sorry, my phone went on. Okay. So it's called Spring Force Qi Gong. So Qi Gong is an ancient Chinese art that has been practiced for literally thousands of years, and it helps balance all the qi, which is energy in the body. It helps with all your energy. It opens up all your chakras, all your energy centers. It also helps you heal your body. There's been people with cancer who have spontaneously healed using Qi Gong. There have, or Qi, Qi Gong, however you want to call it. It's actually spelled with a Q, Qi-Gong. There is this guy, it's Spring Force Qi Gong. His name is Qi Gong Master Chunyi Lin. And he did an energy forecast for what is going to happen on the planet energetically in 2022. And it is incredible. I posted it on my Facebook wall. You all can go to my Facebook wall and you can look at it because all of my posts are public. So I want you all to check this guy out and watch his video. It's like an hour plus long explaining what's happening on the earth energetically this year. And you want to hear something cool? It's all so positive. In fact, between now and May, I just want to recap this real quick because it's super important. Between now and like March, the first 3 months, January, February, March, really horrific energy. You don't want to be traveling. He said not to enter into any important contracts other than buying land. Do not do any investments. He said, do not do any financial investments. The energy is super bad for that. And this is according to the I Ching. It's according to the Chinese astrology. And this is now the year of the water tiger. Yeah. So there's going to be things happening on the earth. He talked all about the energetic earth catastrophes that are going to happen. There's going to be massive flooding. There's going to be stuff going on in the middle of the United States that's going to possibly wipe out the Mississippi River. He doesn't say that, but I know he said he just kind of points to the areas I know because I already know this from other places that there's going to be the coasts are going to possibly get inundated, the East Coast and the West Coast with water. That's going to happen. Tsunamis, there's going to be massive earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanoes, all of these things because the earth is shifting into this 5D, but also because the bad guys have used so much geoengineering and weather weaponry against us that they're like perpetrating a lot of it. And then a lot of it just has to do with the energy shifting on the planet. And I'm going to warn you all, do not fear. Do not be afraid. Don't sit there and go, okay, I live in New York. Does that mean I'm going to die? Because in his video, he says, if you're in New York, it's a bad place, blah, blah, blah. Don't listen to that. Why? Listen to your inner self, your higher self. Listen to your spirit guides and your angels, because here's what I'm finding out. There's a huge diaspora, however you pronounce it. It's like a huge thing going on where people are moving and shifting around like crazy right now. Why? Because your guides and angels are going to tell you where to go or if you should stay still. If you were in danger and you were going to get killed or wiped out by some catastrophe, your guides and angels would force you to either be gone on a vacation, gone on a business trip, or you would be, or they tell you to move. Like they told me to move back 4 or 5 years ago. They said, get the hell out of where you are and here's where you're going to go. And they told me to go here where I am now. I'm not going to say where that is because I don't want the public to know where I'm at. So all I can tell you is I was told to move and I moved to the place that had the highest vibrational frequency for me to physically be in, where I feel good, where I'm surrounded by water and forests and, I'm on a lake, all that kind of stuff. So your team, all of my clients I'm counseling right now are all moving. They're all being told to move. They're moving to Florida. That's a good place to move. So if you want to know good places to move, if you're thinking about this because of future cataclysms, you want to be in mountains. Okay. You don't want to be in volcano mountains. You don't want to be near a volcano, but you want to go, and also Florida. Florida is good. North Carolina, the mountains and area in North Carolina, very good. Arkansas, mountains in Arkansas, really, really good, really high vibrational frequencies. Places like maybe Sedona, Arizona, or Flagstaff, Arizona, where it's higher up in elevation and it's very, there's not any volcanoes there, that are going to go off or something like that. That's really good. If you're on Oahu, there's going to be a lot of problems there because that's one of the epicenters of trafficking on the planet, and it's something really catastrophic may possibly happen. I'm not saying it's going to, I don't want to scare anyone, but something may happen on Oahu in the coming months. And so if you're there, a lot of the Hawaiian people who are in the know are honestly bailing out of there and moving to Maui, the Big Island, and Kauai right now. So the Hawaiian people are like bailing out of there. I talked to a kahuna priestess who knows about this. She's the one who told me all this. And the people are bailing out of there. Now, if you're supposed to stay there for some reason, your guides will keep you there and they will guide you to a safe place at the right time. So do not fear. Do not sit there and go, oh my God, Kimberly said catastrophes are going to happen. Well, catastrophes have been happening since the beginning of time. If your life contract is to stay here for the ascension, your guides and angels will get your ass out of wherever in the heck you are. You will either be forced to move for some reason. Maybe you get a new job. Maybe you get a transfer. Maybe you just suddenly feel an inspiration to move to North Carolina, whatever. Those places is what you want to do. Like, Sandra, you're on the East Coast, but you're in a place that's going to be fine. So you don't need to worry about it right now. And if for some reason because that area is not what's going to get hit. What's going to get hit is supposedly, I say this because I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball, is New York area, that area up in there is going to really get whomped. And would you consider your area southeastern United States?
Yeah, I'm literally, just a few miles of walking into the swamp.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to
on the East Coast. Yeah.
I'm going to pull this up. So this is the picture that I got. This is what I got from, this one's health, but it also applies to the planet as well. This is in Chun Yi. When this guy, this master, this Qi Gong master, when he does this thing for the year, he talks about your health, your house, like what parts of your house are going to be affected bad this year and what parts are good and how to balance all the energy, he tells you. But he talks about where on the planet is going to be bad. The whole middle of the planet this year is going to be bad, all around the equator area. Everywhere on the earth is going to be bad. And then the very southern part is going to be partially bad. The southwestern part of the planet is going to be bad. Maybe like Australia again is what I'm guessing. And then the best parts of the planet this year are going to be North America, Canada, Europe, all of the northern parts, Russia, are going to be okay, energetically safe. We're not going to have any huge energetic whatever, but he said if you're like in Central America, I think he said, it's not going to be good. So you probably don't want to be in the Caribbean, you don't want to be in Central America. There's certain parts around the globe that he talks about, but go and watch his video. I posted it to my Facebook. Maybe I'll post it on YouTube too, in the community thing. But watch this and tune into your higher self, you guys. I'm here as a teacher and I want to help you, and so Sandra. And so the best thing you guys can do is tune into your higher self and follow your gut, your heart and your gut of where you need to go. Like if you have an urge that you want to get the hell out of wherever you are, you need to follow through with that. There's a reason for it. That's all I'm saying. So listen to it. You will be safe and protected wherever you're at, unless you are told to move or you have an urge to move or something happens that forces you to move. Just know that you are very safe and protected at all times. I don't want anyone to have any fear about this whatsoever, because there's no reason to. If you listen to your inner guidance, then you should feel safe and protected and know that you're taken care of. If you ignore your inner guidance, then all bets are off. Like if you literally have a voice in your head telling you get the hell out of that city now, and you're ignoring that, then you're making a choice to put yourself in danger. So if you hear a voice in your head saying move now, and it tells you where to go, you better listen to that voice. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and when you hear that voice and there's a lot in your nervous system that isn't allowing you to balance, sometimes it's good to reach out to someone like Kimberly or myself who can just be a sounding board, just allow you to talk it out. And we're probably not even gonna have to give you any of the answers, because in calming and gathering with someone who is of a closer vibration to where you want to be, we can help to bring you to that place so that you're making a decision that is for your highest good. You're not just freaking out and getting in your car and don't know what direction, because then you're in that fight or flight adrenal gland responses, which isn't necessarily what you need to be at this time, because you're not running from the world cracking apart. Now, the other thing I want to add to what Kimberly is saying is that we hear a lot of this stuff going on and we all have to take stock of it. And we know that things are coming, right? We don't know where they're going to be or what they're going to be, or, the degrees of where they're going to be. And if you're not really stop, drop, sit, connected with your breath, being in tune with that, getting regular healing sessions on yourself, learning how to tune in so that you can decipher the answers that you're getting, but also know that you have the power to send the energy out for love and for the highest good. Like, you can't send out energy going, okay, stop that volcano, just stop it. I don't want it to go off. Everybody focus on stopping that rain cloud and stopping that. Well, you don't know what the divine plan is. So in stopping that, now you've started something over here that wasn't in the plan that is now going to erupt and create more hell. So just send as much energy to yourself, to your loved ones, to your dwellings, to, the grids within, the grids above, the grids around, for the highest good, so that you can breathe and be in that peace. And like Kimberly said, this isn't our lane. And she, like I, have been told over and over and over again, and just don't get in that lane. Stay in your lane and just be there. Now, we can speak to this because really we're speaking to all of you viewers who are having this in your face all the time and you don't know what to believe. So now you're like Henny Penny, and Henny Penny's losing her feathers, and she's going to run out of steam here in a second. But you need to reach out and figure out how it is that you can tune into the heart center, to your guide team, and that's your higher self, that's your angelics, that's whatever team you put together before you came into this, through the birth canal, or however else you got here, petri dish, I don't know, whatever it is, you put it together. So they're there to assist you, and they may be unseen, but you do feel them. If you tune in, you will feel them.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, the most important thing to know is do not go to fear, because the evil ones on this planet, what we call the CABAL, they want to keep you in a state of fear because they don't want you to ascend. And so every time you go to a state of fear, you're blocking your ascension and you're lowering your vibration. And, I've been talking about this vibration stuff for several years now, going back to 2011, actually. I've been talking to people about raising your vibrational frequency and protecting your energy, because the only way that you can ascend in a peaceful way on this planet is you have to keep your vibe high, but fear lowers you way down, like way down. And getting braided. I mean, I'll share my own self as an example, because I'm a human, I'm not a clone. We were talking about clones earlier, about all the clones. And I was telling Sandra how I know I'm not a clone. My neck and my back hurt so bad I want to freaking die. That's why I know I'm not a clone. And I've been bleeding, cuts. Yeah. Cuts and pimples and all kinds of normal human kind of things. Definitely not a clone. But the thing is that the fear lowers your vibration. And in my own house, my vibration used to be really, really sky high. I'm not going to tell you the number because it's personal, but I used to have a really, really high vibrational frequency. And then when the plague thing hit in the beginning of 20 or end really of 2019, and my family started attacking me, and also they started attacking me over Mr. T, because I'm a Mr. T supporter, and they didn't like that, so they're attacking me over that. They're attacking me over the plague, and then they started, everyone started attacking me over this thing, that thing, you know, the poke thing. Yeah, they started attacking me over that. And what do you think happened to me? Even though I'm a light worker, I'm you know, a high level teacher, you know, I'm a spiritual teacher, but I'm a human, people. We're all humans. We're all in a human body. So when your family's berating you every day, no matter how many skills, mad ass meditation skills you have, like I could go be Zen all day long, but if my family is continuously in the same house with me and they're sending me these daggers and arrows and just berating me all the time, guess what happened to me? My energy went down by 200 points. 200 points it went down. Yeah. So I've had to learn new skills and new things to deal with these people. I've had to learn how to avoid them like the plague, literally, like not talk to them, not discuss certain subjects like the subject of the plague or the poke or the Mr. T or any of these. I can't discuss any of these things with them. I've had to learn coping skills for myself. And that is what you all need to do, because if you go to a place of fear, or you go to a place where you allow the nasty mind controlled MK Ultra family members who have been watching CNN all day long every day for their whole life, if you allow those people to get in your face and get in your energy field, it will drag your ass down. So you have to do mad ass skills and things, and like shamanic rituals, whether it's things like putting crystals under your bed, putting crystals. I mean, my spouse doesn't know this, but he has some crystals now taped behind the headboard of the bed. Why? Because I need to transmute his lovely MK Ultra energy. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, so
Yeah, and you pick that up even if you're not, it's like you're going to pick it up if you're around all of those things, and it's difficult. But the thing is, if you're aware of it, you can do your best. But being human, I mean, we're trying to handle so many things. It can naturally start to anchor you in places that you don't want to be anchored, and you're fighting tooth and nail to like, get out of there. Yeah. But smart for you to put the crystals behind his bed.
Yeah, I put.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I tell everybody. If you're being psychic attacked at night, or you're astral traveling, or you think you have demonics attacking you while you're sleeping, you can put a black tourmaline at the foot of your bed. I've done multiple videos on this stuff. You put a black tourmaline at the foot of your bed, and you put a white selenite at the head of your bed. The white selenite connects you directly to God, our creator, at all times, and the angelic realm. And the black tourmaline is like a negative energy sponge. It absorbs the negative energy. It also repels entities because they don't like it. And so does the selenite. Those two, they basically repel the entities, but then any negative energies that are sent towards you, even from another person sleeping in the same bed as you. So like just by me having my bed gridded, it's called a grid. So just by gridding my bed, even if the person next to me is doing something, I'm protecting my energy field. And then I also ask Archangel Michael to place a force field of protection around me before I go to sleep every night. And I ask him to do the same for everybody in my family, my entire home. You know, you need to cover everything with protection every single day, because there are still 900 billion demons on this planet, and they love attacking humans. So as long as those a-holes are still on our planet, we need to have really, really good tools in our tool belt to fight these guys. And so you can use crystals, you can use prayer, you can use shamanic rituals, you can do smudging. I mean, there's just so many different things you can do right now because just so you guys all know, Sandra, I'm sure you know this, that these dark entities, they know they're on their way out. So they're trying to take with as many humans as they can. So they're so they're purposely trying to take people down. I've been attacked. My friends have been attacked. I'm on the phone with girlfriends, like, oh my God, every day of the week, comparing notes about all the attacks that are happening, just attack after attack, because they're trying to take us out. I had an incident a few weeks back where all of a sudden I thought I was dying. Like I literally felt like I was dying, that I was leaving here. That was the end. I felt like I was going to throw up really, really bad for no reason at all. Just all of a sudden, just going to throw up. And I haven't thrown up since I was a little tiny girl. Okay. I'm not a thrower upper. I don't do that. and I suddenly got hit with something. I was hit with something. The same thing happened to my son yesterday, for heaven's sakes. I'm like, what the F is going on here? Same thing happened to my son. These are demonic attacks because they're trying to take out light workers. Okay. So you have to be armed and dangerous with your sword and your shield. It's so funny because I'm going to PT right now for my neck and my back. And the newest exercise he gave me is I have a band and it's called drawing your sword of, it's like drawing your sword of light. And it's to strengthen your neck and shoulder area. And you're lying down and doing this with a band, a stretchy band. And I was just chuckling because my PT therapist doesn't know who I am or what I do. Okay. He doesn't know that. He doesn't know who I am. And I'm just laughing my head off because I'm thinking in my head, yeah, I'm drawing my sword of light. MFOs, you know, watch out, man. Don't mess with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just want to bring to attention, you know, the grid thing is really important. And for many people, if you're unable to get these types of stones and crystals, just walk around your area and find rocks, you know, wherever, and wash them off, soak them in salt, and then put them in the sunlight and literally take each one and infuse and bless it for whatever intention that you have, whether it's protection. And you can just make your own little grid. You can do it on an end table. You can put it underneath the bed. You can put it on a desk. Just put it somewhere where it doesn't get knocked over or a child doesn't just pick it up. And let that just sort of be your little protection sanctuary. And every day go to it and look at it and just infuse it with whatever it is that you need that day. And then it's done. And so it is. And just continue it that way as well. And your incense and Epsom salt baths and other things that you do to just continue to cleanse your own aura and energy fields is also going to help the brick and mortar of where you live, the demographics of where you live, and then also those who dwell in and around your area too.
Whoop, sorry, I had my fan going. I was having a hot flash.
Are you telling me you didn't hear anything I said? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I heard everything
They
you
need
said,
to
but I
hear it. It's okay if you don't hear it.
Oh no, I heard everything you said, but I was muted because I didn't want people to hear my fan.
Oh, got it.
So I was muted. I can always hear you. I was just going to add to that. So there's a few other things I want to share with you all right now, because you all really need this. And this is something I tell my clients every single day is you get four selenite, like either you can get these on Amazon. It's a selenite pillar, selenite column, or selenite skyscraper. They call them by different things. You can get different shaped selenite. It doesn't necessarily have to be that shape. It can even be a small one like that. Yeah, like Sandra has. And you want to take one and put it in each of the four corners. You're going to set up a protection grid for your home to protect your home from negative entities. So you put one in each of the four corners of your house. And then again, you put one under the head of your bed, or you can tape it to the headboard behind the headboard of your bed. You don't want crystals under your pillow. Like I have friends who say, oh, I sleep with my crystals under my pillow. I am like the princess and the pea. If I had something under my mattress or under my pillow, I would be awake all night long. There's no freaking way you're going to get me to do that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put them under my bed on the floor, like right under my bed. That's why I have black tourmaline at the foot of my bed. I have selenite at the head of my bed, but they're on the floor under my bed because the protection or the energy field that these things vibrate with goes out. It expands, a really, really huge amount. So you don't have to have it right on top of your body to get a benefit from it. So there's no reason that you need to stick it under your pillow. I have friends who gave their children amethyst crystals, because the amethyst crystals, and then there's one that I gave my children a long time ago. I want to say it's called howlite. It's called howlite. It's like a white stone and it's got a little bit of black. It's mostly white. those two stones supposedly help you sleep at night if you put them in the pillow. But if you do, you want little tiny ones, and you want to put them on the side of the pillow where your head isn't going to be pressing on it, because that would keep you awake all night long. But those are really good for children or adults, you know, to help you sleep at night. But there's so many ways that you can grid your home for protection. But the biggest way is that. And then the other thing I've talked about multiple times in videos is my magical smudging, because I personally have a lot of, as I used to have asthma years ago, and my lungs still are not 100%. And I cannot handle smoke. Smoke kills me. So if I can't do the burning thing where you smudge with the burning. So this is a smudging spray. This is Palo Santo and sage oil. And then I mix it with I have a bottle on the floor. It's too big, heavy to pick up, but it's like a gallon bottle of the water that you use in your iron. What is that called?
Distilled water.
Distilled water. So you fill this thing, you get a little bottle, and it has to be dark, because if it's a clear bottle, your oils will be destroyed. You need to put essential oils in dark bottles and keep them in a dark, cool place at all times, or the oils will go bad and rancid really fast. So you put it in a dark bottle, you fill it about 2/3 of the way with the distilled water, and then you put about 10 drops of Palo Santo oil and 10 drops of sage oil, and you just gently shake it around. And then you can spray it in all the rooms in your house. And what does that do? It clears any entities or negative energies from your home. You can spray it all over yourself to clear your chakras and your own energy field. And you can spray it. I spray it between each of my clients. I have a clearing ritual I do from client to client. So I'm not taking energy from one client to another client, because I go out of my way to protect each of my clients, whether they know it or not. A lot of them have no clue I'm doing this, but I protect everybody. And so I do smudging and spraying. Another thing you can do is, if you go out in public and you're exposed to a lot of, I don't know, 5G negative energy people, like people with their negative energy, or maybe they have this thing and they're shedding, you can take a selenite crystal like this, or even this little one, like Sandra was showing you the little ones earlier, and you take it and hold it horizontal, and you run it all along your energy field, like you're cleaning yourself. It's like you're scrubbing yourself in the shower, except you're doing it with selenite. The other thing you could do is take a warm bath in Himalayan salt crystal or Epsom salt, because that will also purify your energy and clear your chakras and get rid of any negative energy that you're holding on to. So anyways, I wanted to share that.
Yeah, I carry invisible selenite around. It's like a taser.
Mm-hmm.
I like, shoo, shoo, shoo. Well, that's just my humor. It's like,
you can do that too.
I know.
mean, and there's also I think it's in Italy.
I wasn't trying to give anybody ideas, but you know.
You can do this thing where you point your finger. So if there's somebody that's like,
and you can do this thing.
Yeah. I don't know if you
this
guys
is a very powerful finger.
If you go like that, that's the devil sign, and that's the sign that the evil ones use in their little photos. All the celebrities do this, which is the devil sign. But if you take that same sign and you point it like this, actually, like this, what that is that means whatever you're sending to me is going right back at you. It's like giving. It's a thing they do in Europe. They've been doing it in Europe for hundreds and thousands of years. But what it is it's if somebody's speaking nastiness to you, like somebody's saying harmful words, or they're threatening you, or they're yelling at you, or they're swearing at you, or they're staring at you really weird, giving you in Italy what they call the stink eye. In Italy and Greece, they have a thing called the stink eye. When somebody's staring at you, you do this at them, and that is, I'm sending that energy right back at you. It's going right back to you, whatever you're dishing out. And, the other thing, Sandra, have you ever done what I call the wall of violet flame purification? You can literally put up a wall of violet flame in between you and the person who's being nasty to you. So it just bounces right back at them.
I work with Saint Germain and Kuan Yin a lot with the lavender and the violet flame. I want to point out to our viewers, we're not talking about things that we're making up or that's new age or come out. If you really go back into history, and I mean history before history, that you're really not even going to know a lot about. Everything was symbols, everything was mudras, everything was designed with the corners of the sun, or the directions of the wind, or whatever it is. So if you just look at a couple things and then adopt those and understand what those are, they can help protect you and activate upon whenever you command it to be so. So what she's showing you there is the mudra. It's a mudra. And yeah, there's a lot of these things that are out there. We're just a little bit more experienced maybe than those who are watching. So, look them up and adopt a few that protect you and your family, and share it with the kids. I mean, they love learning certain things. You don't have to give them all the down low of things, but you can say, hey, if somebody at school is really hurting your feelings or bothering, and you're not allowed to speak up or say anything back, maybe like you could just hold your hand this way and nobody sees it, like down here, and it protects you.
Yep, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Because our kids are really getting, I mean, I've noticed even the kids that I'm working with right now, just within a week or so have really changed. Like they're denying that they have guides, or they're not wanting to talk about it, or they're learning so much at school about how important a KN95 is versus something your mother sent you to school with. And they're just getting caught up in this whole energy that is taking them away from their spiritual connection.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's been challenging a little bit working with them recently. Yeah. Just saying. So we as adults may understand what's happening. They don't understand what's happening. So we have to really just hold space and teach them just little fun things they can do. And I don't necessarily mean fun, but teach them in a fun way how to maybe hold on to some of that while we're riding this wave of stuff.
Absolutely. I love that you shared that. Thank you, Sandra, for talking about the kids. And it's really important because this dystopian school system that was set up by the CABAL, because the whole school system was set up by them. It's all about separating your children from God, separating their soul from their body, like literally getting rid of it. And the master, the Qi Gong master that I listened to in that video, he actually keeps talking about the fact that people's souls are being separated out from them. And then he talks about how to integrate it back in through using Qi Gong to balance and everything, which is really, really, really important. But the thing is that the school system was set up to separate your kids from each other, turn them against each other with the race thing, turn them against their parents, turn them into basically like little robot drones that will be slaves to the system, where they just go and, they're just enslaved the rest of their life to this whole system that they've created. This school system is going to be completely being collapsed over the next year. You've already seen hundreds of videos floating around YouTube and Facebook about parents standing up to school boards all over the United States now and Canada. I don't know about in Europe what they're doing with the kids over there, but here in our countries, people are standing up to the school board. I have a client who is in Northern California, and she went to the northern, whatever the school board is there, and she brought an attorney with, and they went and they presented all kinds of stuff. And parents are trying to take back their children away from these evil dictators because they're really corrupt and they're really evil. All of these school boards are all a bunch of atheistic, satanic, dystopian psychopaths that'll do whatever the psychopaths at the top. They're basically minions to the elites. They're all just a little elite minions, and they will do whatever they're told to do, and they will ruin your child's life in the process. And Sandra, the thing that's breaking my heart right now, I was actually crying the other day because whenever I think about it, it gets me so upset, is that they have completely destroyed an entire generation of children because between this thing, the face diaper thing, not being able to see. They said that the speech pathologist offices are overrun with children because little babies and toddlers are not able to speak now because of these things. And then they get their cues from the adults' faces. Children learn and they socialize based on seeing the expressions on people's faces. And because they haven't been able to see them for 2 whole years, these kids are crazy. The other thing is the entire society has turned into hypochondriac society. My girlfriend and I had quite a talk last night on the phone for like 2 hours about all this stuff. And everybody in the society has turned into hypochondriacs because now everybody's terrified that they may pick up a virus wherever they go. Oh, I might get this, I might get that. And people are like terrified. Like when you go near somebody in the supermarket, they go like this, and then they look all fear, they're just like full of fear, and they like pull away from you, or they, they walk away, they give you weird looks. And, I mean, everybody is just like, this whole thing that they have created has not only destroyed the community. I think 50% or more of the restaurants in my state went bankrupt because of it. I mean, it's destroyed the economy, it's destroyed jobs, it's ripped apart families. Because you have families like mine fighting. You've got 1 or 2 people that say they like this and the rest, are over here. They're fighting against each other. It's completely destroyed our entire society. But the thing is I sit here and go, okay, if you want to F with the adults, that's going to make me angry. But what really makes me really upset is you mess with my kids or other people's children. When you start messing with children, I go mama bear. I get really, really angry and really upset. And, I want blood, man. I want to get them. And I want, what I mean.
Well, I said over a year ago, 2 things were going to occur. Number one, no one's going to know who's telling the truth, and masks will come off, but it will still leave everybody miffed and befuddled. 2, the one thing that will have everybody cross party lines, religious lines, all of this is going to be, you continue hurting the children. And there's going to be enough people that are going to say that's not going to occur. We're stopping this crap now. So it's going to be almost like an activation within some people who may have been robotic for a while, adult wise. And then when they see what's happening to the children, it'll be like, boom, no. And what we're seeing too is a lot of the counties within states have lifted those mandates, but the school boards are refusing. They're actually locking down even harder. So what you're seeing is students rallying and forming their own rallies of, hey, no, thank you. I'm not going to do that. My county says I don't have to. Therefore, I'm not in here. And if they get enough people to do it, then they can't stop, 10 kids passing by versus 1 child. And if you can have some that are there that it can be leaders within that, then others will stick with them. But, it's these school systems. I'm telling you, I'm seeing it just within my, the children groups that I work in. I've come across it now, especially in the last 10 days. It's like this instant flip. And I really have to go within and ask for a lot of help. Okay, how do I help this child without overstepping boundaries at the same time, right? And I don't want them to be caught in the middle. But what my teacher said, but and then if parents are divorced, but my dad said, but then my mom said, I have to be very careful with my energy and very careful with the words I choose to use during that time, and hope that even if I didn't have the words that would make sense or vibrate with them, the frequency was there. They were feeling it. It was coming through their system. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just to keep them anchored in that everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, I have more and more friends. My kids are adults now, so I don't have this problem, but I do have a problem with one of my adult kids because he's still in college. And he's quitting his college program because they went to online, and he can't learn that way. He needs to be in a classroom in person. And that college is doing it all like online. And he's like, I'm dropping out at the end. When I'm finished with these classes, I'm not going to continue anymore until I can actually go back to a class again. And we've heard stories of a whole bunch of other kiddos the same age who they can't do college, or they can't even go to school, like public school. They can't go to public school because they can't, it's ridiculous. They're doing it from home. And so they're like, okay, well, I just don't want to do it at all. If I'm going to have to do it from home, there's so many kids having learning disabilities and flunking tests and not really learning. And these teachers, what we're finding out is the teachers who are going to the online protocol, they're not helping the kids. Like, we actually had to go to bat for our son a year or two ago with the university, because of the fact that the teachers weren't even really teaching. They weren't assisting the kids. They weren't doing anything. They were just being lazy, and they were just putting a class up on the website, and the teachers weren't doing any instruction. Like, they weren't doing any live video, like where they're on a video and they're actually instructing. They were just doing some lazy ass baloney. And the kids weren't learning anything. And we were paying a fortune for that university. Okay. It was an expensive university that we were paying for 100% out of our pocket, because he didn't have any loans or grants or anything like that. So we were paying for it out of our retirement funds. And it was so upsetting because he wasn't getting what they promised. They promised specific things to us when we enrolled him, and they weren't delivering any of it. That was just so upsetting to us. And this is what's going on. The whole entire education system is literally imploding on itself. And all of these people running the education system are just minions they're just evil minions. They're horrible. And so you need to beat them at their own game. And if it means hiring a lawyer and bringing them with you, then that's what maybe you need to do, or at least bringing legal documents and saying, here's what the law says, idiots, because these people, not only are they evil minions, but they're total morons too. Like, they don't even understand the law, like the actual laws that were set up to protect people. So you can actually use it against them. If you go and research, there's a person in California, what is her name? Lynn, maybe you know who she is. She's got blonde hair. She's one of the ones who toured around the country with all those famous people.
She has a site. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember her name.
Papers.
I don't remember her name, but she helps people get exemptions for this thing, and she helps people with all kinds of legal stuff that has to do with that. I forgot her name. Maybe somebody can put it in the comments to help everybody, because I don't live in California and I forgot her name, but there's people like that who you can contact, who are attorneys, who are fighting all of these school boards. They're fighting, the counties, they're fighting the state governments, they're fighting all of this. And the people are pushing back more and more and more and more. And this convoy that happened, not only in Canada, but they did it also in Belgium. They did it in Italy. They did it all over the world. I think Germany too, they started doing these convoys. Right. This is just another thing to show you that the human beings are taking a stand for themselves, and we're not going to put up with being bullied by these psychopaths anymore. That's what it's
and it's called the Healthy American.
Yeah.
I forget what her name is, but when you were talking about the school systems and the corruptions, my guides were saying, it's not just them. It's like all these religious-based colleges and hospitals. You would think that because they're God-based, right, that they would be more understanding and accepting the exemptions and this and that. They're actually being the toughest. And there's something going on right now with this guy that's a friend of a friend in North Carolina, and he is on the transplant list, and he is unable to do it because he is not. And so people started trying to give notoriety to it and raising money and actually volunteering to do it. And they're like, we won't accept any money or a donor if none of these people are this. And it's not even getting that much news right now. But what I'm saying to you is, it's not just the school systems, it's these hospital
medical system is really medical bad.
Systems, but but you would think that the religious based ones would have some more compassion, because they're fighting for God and state don't mix, right? And then all of a sudden it's like, what? Now you're acting like you're the state.
They're hypocrites.
and you're so in all of this, we're seeing the masquerades coming off of a lot of people, including a lot of these institutions who have claimed that they are for you when they're really for controlling you. And that's what we're really waking up to. And so we have to be willing to not go to those hospitals or medical places, find new people. And like Kimberly was saying in the beginning, if Spirit's saying, hey, your area no longer supports you demographically, are you willing? Do you have the courage? Will you take the action to listen to what we're saying? Because you'll thrive better or be safe over here. For me, I'm from the DC area, but then I was in Baltimore for a while. And then in Baltimore, they were like, you got to go. It's time for you to go. You were here, you anchored, you're done. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll think about that over the summer. Sure. And then I get a notice, you need to be out. And I'm like, okay, fine. I needed a deadline. And then I didn't want to come back to the DC area, but I was brought back here to anchor the energy. But was saying that is I got rid of everything because they said, be ready, have nothing to carry but your suitcase, be ready. When I tell you that you will go. And so, I mean, I always listen to Spirit anyway, which is me, my higher self, the God source. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm just ready. I'm like, okay, let me just keep doing my anchoring work and healing work. And when you say, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And that's what is going to be with everybody. If you just tune in and you just allow yourself to listen, is you will know if you need to go or if you need to stay. You know, maybe you're in a place where, you know, it's okay to stay there because you're anchoring some energy there and you'll be fine. Or, you know, maybe nothing bad will happen wherever it is that you're at. It's only in specific locations where they're going to get floods or tsunamis or earthquakes or volcanoes or, you know, whatever. But you need to trust in your higher self, trust in God, know that God has a plan for you, but really, really listen. And the same goes with all these things. Like if you have a kid in school and you're fighting the school board, you know, anything that's going on in your life right now, if you're fighting the medical system, that's purposely, none of these doctors and nurses that are in charge, you know, that are actually calling the shots, care about our actual health. They're just all minions too, because the ones that do care about our health have all walked off their jobs. The real doctors and nurses who are the ones who really care about us, most of them have left their jobs. Yes. Most of them have left. And because they were forced to get this thing and they knew that it was no good. So what are they doing? You go into the hospital and they're giving, I watch Dr. Artis, I follow him. And I follow a bunch of these other doctors, and they're basically saying that the protocol in the hospital basically kills you. So the minute you walk in there, you're not coming out again, most likely. Now, well,
that's what they're testifying to right now at the Senate.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you heard the recent, you know, is that I think they did a statistic study that in the past 5 years, anyone that was in the military, there was 1.7 million diseases, like had a disease for, and this is military from everywhere, all ages of the US, right? And then since 2021, in the 10 months of 2021, do you know what the number is now? 22 million. And apparently now that everyone's at the Senate testifying on this RMed that they were giving in all these hospitals, they have all the medical staff that basically have walked off the job, and they're now being able to have a platform to speak, even if it's each person has 2 minutes. They're all basically saying the same thing. But then this particular group of people, I guess some whistleblowers gave them the information, and they were about to speak as of Thursday or Friday this past week. So that's kind of interesting, pathetically sad, but interesting. And again, it's not my lane, but I throw love and compassion at it. And for those people who have dug up this information and have worked hard to be the whistleblower and bring it out and be in those crowds and do those rallies, that's what they're called to do. I'm more of the peacekeeper, working with the healing work, trying to mentor, assist other people as Kimberly does. And normally we wouldn't be talking a lot about this stuff, but it's coming up. A lot of stuff is coming to the surface that is shocking and yet revealing, and yet it has to come up. And even us healers are still trying to steady ourselves through this storm because we're getting knocked over with waves of energy tsunamis. And that's one of the reasons why Kimberly and I are on today, is to help everybody. You know, if we're having difficulty, we know a lot of people watching this are having sincere difficulty, and we really just want to help you with some tips. That's all.
Absolutely. And there's a whole bunch of what I call false new age light worker people who are not even awake to this. Like, they're in denial about the fact that 9 million children are trafficked every year. They say, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. That's not real. That doesn't happen. There's no such thing. They stick their head in the sand over and over again. They ran out and got one of those. Like, I know a whole bunch of like spiritual people who ran out and got 3 of those things.
Yes.
And they're just totally asleep. Now, because I told you guys in the beginning, I'm not going to discuss, I'm not one of these truther people that's here to discuss like a Melk or a Jayco or somebody like that, where I'm on here talking about that stuff. That's not my job here, but I do know about every little freaking thing happening on this planet. And I'm constantly praying on it all the time and sending it light and praying over it. And I have groups of friends and we discuss it in private. We discuss this stuff in private and we pray about it. It's just that I'm not here on YouTube to talk about that stuff and that's not my reason for being on YouTube. There are people that have YouTube channels devoted
specifically for that.
Specifically to that. That's not my YouTube. Is spiritual growth journeys. It's about spiritual tools, you know, to get ahead in the ascension.
Yeah, mine is how to keep it simple in your daily activity and still be totally aligned and still be aware, but be detached from being sucked into that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, you don't want to get sucked into the rabbit hole to the point where your vibration and density is lowered so much that you're just stuck in fear. So you need to be aware of what's happening in the world around you. You need to call it out. You need to claim your feelings around it, because if you don't process your emotions, like I am mad as hell, go punch a pillow, feel your anger, like literally don't go suppress your feelings. You need to feel your feelings. If you're pissed off, if you're angry, I mean, you know, I was really, really pissed off for a while, to the point where I was getting chronic bladder pain and bladder infections, because when you're really angry and you're not processing it properly, it will affect your physical body. And it usually hits the bladder, the prostate. If you're a man, it'll hit your prostate or your, you know what, down there. And if you're a woman, it will hit you in the bladder or maybe even your ovaries or something like that. And so I was having a lot of issues with that for a while, because I was getting so angry about all the stuff happening around me. And I'm a sensitive empath, and I had to go and process that anger. I had to go punch pillows, run around the block, scream and yell and, you know, kick and, you know, do things to process through the emotion. So you need to, when you're finding out about all these terrible things and it's getting you upset, you need to allow yourself to feel upset. First, allow yourself to have the feelings. Let the feelings rise up to the surface and claim those feelings and run head on into them. Don't run away from them, because there's a lot of people who turn to drugs and alcohol to run away from their feelings or problems in life. And that's not a solution. Or they have an addiction to sex, or they do have an addiction to something else, or gambling, or this or that. And that's a way of running away from addressing their emotions and feelings in life over terrible things that are happening. So instead, you need to run head on into those feelings. You need to process through them, and you need to allow yourself to feel angry or upset or really sad or grieving, or, you know, I mean, I lost this plague is a real thing. And that's another thing that gets me angry, is there's doctors and people out there saying, oh, it doesn't exist. It's not real. I have 2 family members who got it and died. Okay. So I just had to bury my baby brother recently, and he passed 3 months ago. I didn't get the body until 2 months later because of such a mess down there in California. But the fact of the matter is he got that thing and then he died as a result. So anybody who wants to tell me, and then I had several clients and friends who all lost their spouses to it. Their spouses all died to that thing in the hospital, because they give them remdesivir and they give them
well, the remdesivir is what's really killing people. It's the culprit. you're in there for one thing and then they're giving you another. And
Yeah.
that's what these people in front of the Senate are talking about.
Right. But there's
now.
all of these people that are on social media and on YouTube sitting there and saying, there's no such thing as viruses. There's no such thing as this and that, da, 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 da. And that is not true. Yes, there is. In fact, viruses have been around for thousands and actually millions and billions of years. They've found viruses back to the caveman age. You know, they found them in ice and in, you know, they've had them, they're real. In fact, Dr. Mercola just did a whole article about that, explaining about that. And it has to do, the argument is about how they isolate it. That's what the argument is about. It's not about do they exist, but there's all these people going, oh, they don't exist. Those are like the same people who are the spiritual people who say, oh, show me proof that kids are being trafficked. I don't believe that that's not a thing. And it's like, what? Like, where the hell have you been? I've watched video interviews of people who escaped from that.
Sure.
Like people who are now adults who were victims of that whole thing, and they somehow made it out alive and escaped, and now they're going through years of trauma healing. It's like, how dare, so you're going to tell all of these hundreds of people that are coming out of the woodwork now saying, yeah, I was a victim of that, I was involved in that, or I visited, you know, that island, you know.
Well, they're being trafficked off planet too. You've got more and more people with memories back intact that are sharing that. People that don't even know each other at all whatsoever and have never met. And have, you know, listed everything and which is like boom, 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 you know, that have survived. So we have a lot of things going on. And just because you don't know about it doesn't mean you're going to deny it and shut it down. And that's what I find people's response. Oh, I don't believe in all that.
Yeah.
I know that's just a denial aspect.
Right.
You know, that's just total. It's like saying, you know, oh, I'm a Christian, or I'm a this and I'm a that, and I believe in this book, and this is the only book that there ever is. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your belief system, but you know, some pages were taken out of there, and then some were rewritten.
700 books were removed.
I mean, like that. I mean, but you know what's funny, that when Yeshua would come to me when I was a child, and because I grew up in a very Christian family. And I would be told that. I said, you know, I didn't say that. I didn't write that. That's not me. And I would look at the Old Testament versus the New Testament. It was right about the time that the King James became everybody's go-to. And I think that was right around 1970 maybe. But I remember going back and looking at all these books and going, how come I can't pronounce anyone's name in this book? And then in this book, everybody's name is common, you know? It just was like, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other video.
So this is, I took a picture. If you guys can see this, I posted this to Facebook.
Oh yeah.
This is an old Bible that was written in 1823. And it turns out that unicorns are mentioned 9 times in that Bible. It's the Old and New Testaments of the Bible. So since the 1800s, they've removed even more stuff. So here's what's really interesting is the original Bible that was written by the Cathars. It was the first one. The Vatican, when they did their thing, they removed 700 books from that Bible, and then they retwisted everything around to their liking. Since then, it's been retwisted around over and over and over and over. And the last really bad twisting of it was when they took Yeshua's name and made it Jesus in the Geneva Bible, which is where the CABAL are based out of. And
lovely King James.
Yeah. So the King James Bible, actually the original King James Bible, he was called Yeshua or Iesus, Iesus, which was the Greek name for him. Those two names are fine. In Switzerland, the CABAL got a hold of the Bible and made the Geneva Bible, and they made his name Jesus because it has the same gematria as Lucifer.
Yeah.
So if you go to gematrix.org, I talked about this over and over again in hundreds of videos. Go to gematrix.org, you put in the name Jesus, and then you put in the name Lucifer, and you'll see they have the same numbers. Then you can put in the name Yesu, which the Catholic Church uses a lot, which is Jesu, and put in the name Satan, and they have the same numbers. Well, that was done in Geneva, Switzerland in 1700s. It was 1700. So since the 1700s, the Bible really went downhill, like really bad, because they made the names incorrect so they can trick everybody into praying to the other guys, you know? So they did that. And I mean, these are the same beings that have been effing with humanity for 26,000 years.
Yeah.
Okay. It's no surprise. It's no surprise.
And here's the moral of the story, viewers. You're not going to know the truth until you stop, drop, sit, connect with your breath, and ask yourself. Take all the things that you think you've learned and just put them to the side, and then just start really resonating and getting to know your heart, your inner self, which is exactly what Kimberly and I were saying from the very beginning. Because there's so many things that are distorted and even partially true, partially not true, whatever you want to say it is. Be willing to say, I'm going to put all that on the shelf, and then I'm going to empty out this computer, and then I'm going to ask my own God source blueprint DNA, what feels right is the truth to me, and learn to get in touch with that. Because all this other stuff is going to be around for quite a while, and people will fight to the death over it. Nothing has changed. What has to change is what starts with you. And it starts with you. It starts with each one of us making the changes. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to add to that is Sandra and I are here doing sessions for people and teaching classes to people, but we're not here to give you all the answers to your life. We are here to empower you to get those yourself by going within, getting in touch with your higher self, getting in touch with our creator, God, getting in touch with Yeshua and Divine Mother and the angels and the ascended masters and Christ consciousness and all of that, like you going within and getting the answers, because you actually, your higher self, which goes back millions or billions of years and, whatever, has all the answers to everything. So once you learn how to open that third eye and go within yourself, you don't have to come to us and say, when is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? I was laying in bed this morning and having a talk with the boss and saying, when is this program going to end? And when am I going to be crystalline? I asked, when am I going to be completely crystalline? I got an answer that it was going to be 8 months from now. For me, that's for me. Now everybody's on a different path, because everybody's like, I found out my husband, it'll take him 3 years. Like 3 years. So I asked for everybody in my family. And so I went within and I got answers, because I don't go call somebody up to give me these answers. I go right to the boss, right to the source, my higher self, and to God, that clear, perfect channel to God, which is, if you meditate with one of these on near your crown chakra, vertical, it actually helps you connect directly to source and have that clear, perfect channel. So, so if you do these kind of things, you are going to get all the answers. If you want to know, when is this going to end? When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? Stop looking to other people's YouTube channels to find this out, and learn how to spend time meditating every day. I have a meditation workshop that teaches you everything you need to know about not only doing a sitting meditation, but turning your whole day into a meditation. That's on my website. Okay. You can go to my classes and workshops on spiritualgrowthjourneys.com and learn to meditate. So there's no excuse for you, because it's so easy to sit and meditate even 5 minutes a day and go within yourself and ask the questions. So when's this going to happen? So why does my back hurt? Why is it that my back hurts? Like, I know why mine hurts. I have neck and back pain, and I was able to go within and ask my body, why is my neck hurting? Why is my back hurting? And I was able to get answers. So at least I know why that's happening. And then I can go and get the appropriate help. And you can even ask yourself and ask your guides and ask your angels, how do I heal this? So like, oh, what if I have, like, let's say I used to have a heart arrhythmia. So I don't have it anymore because I asked, how do I heal this? And then I followed through with all of the things that I was told to do to heal that heart arrhythmia. And, so it's gone, right? So those are the things that you can do, but you have to learn how to go within. And if you're not willing, if you're somebody who's really stubborn and you're lazy, I mean, sorry, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but there's some lazy people out there that don't want to put any effort in. They don't want to put any effort in. They want everybody to wave a magic wand. I have people who call me and they expect me to just wave a wand and make them healed. It's like, no. You're going to get homework. I'm going to make you do homework. I'm going to give you tools to help yourself. You're going to help yourself with God. You and God are going to work together. I'm going to arm you and make you dangerous with all the tools that you need, all the training you need to do it. But if you're not willing to put the work in on yourself to make your spirituality better, to make your energy better, to make your health better, to make your life, your relationships, your career. I mean, I'm counseling tons of people on businesses and all kinds of things. If you're not willing to do the work and put the work in, the universe wants to see your work, and the universe will fully support you when you're putting an effort in. If you just sit on your back all day like this, eating ding dongs or ho-hos or donuts.
I like my ho-hos.
Yeah, or whatever. And you don't do anything and you put your feet up and you're expecting just a plethora of goodness to rain down from heaven. I got news for you. God isn't going to give that to you. God will give you a miracle when you show up. And number one, expect and believe in the miracle. But number two, you need to put some effort in. If you're not going to put in any effort, you are going to get nowhere with your life, nowhere with your health, nowhere with your happiness. You're going to still be the same person. Both of the books I wrote are manuals. They're like life-changing manuals. If you do the things that are in the book, the you that goes in at the beginning will be completely transformed at the end, but you have to be willing to do some work, even if it's a little bit of work, some work.
Well, you're going to get what you give. You don't go on a diet and say, okay, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 6 months, but only one time a week am I going to eat correctly and exercise. Yeah. And then at the 6 months, you're like, I don't understand. Okay, well, you're going to get back what you put out. And that is true. You need, there are people out here like Kimberly and I that have things for you that can get you on your path. But really, it's all about empowering you. It's about empowering you. If not, call 1-900-PSYCHIC every day and get all your answers there. Where's that going to get you?
And I have some of you doing that to me right now. I have a bunch of you on Facebook that are messaging me every single day thinking that I'm your psychic on speed dial. And I get text messages, I get emails from everybody asking me all their life questions. And it's like, okay, if you have questions, sign up for a session. I'll be happy to answer them there. But I'm not people's speed dial psychic that's just here all day. I mean, I get hundreds of them. If I was sitting around answering people's questions all day, I'd not be able to take care of myself, my family. I wouldn't even be able to eat. I wouldn't even have time to go to the bathroom.
Give to your clients. You wouldn't be able to give to your, because those are what I call little pinpricks. They're people that are needy and they'll pinprick you and then you'll bleed a little, but then you get a whole bunch of pinpricks and it's like you're drained. That's it. You got to cut that off like a bad growth. You can't be on 24/7 because there's other work that we're being asked to do, and family, ourselves, and so on is part of that.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the
thing anything else we want to leave these viewers with?
Yeah, I want to talk about, this is really important. So for on the, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we had this corona mass ejection stuff going on the sun, these like sun flares going on. And it was so intense that a lot of light workers were sicker than dogs. Okay. So I got hit really, really bad yesterday. I had heart palpitations. I actually woke up shaking really badly. Like I had low blood sugar, and I didn't because I ate a bunch of food and everything, and I was good. I was shaking. My legs were so wobbly, I could hardly walk or stand. My heart was palpitating. I was having shortness of breath. I was dizzy. I was having basically heart attack, almost like symptoms. I was fine. And I found out, and that went almost all day until close to dinner hour for me. And then what I found out was a whole bunch of my friends had exact same symptoms, exactly the same, the same. And they were all over the world. Like one was in England and the UK. Mm-hmm. And he was having similar symptoms. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say Alexander Quinn, my buddy, he posted actually about this several days ago. He posted, oh, be careful. Everybody take really extra special self-care of yourself because there's these intense energies that are hitting. Okay. Plus we were in the shadow of what they call, what is that called? Mercury retrograde.
Yes.
We were coming out of that.
Yeah, it's going direct this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so the thing is that he said a warning. Well, on the day that he said the warning, I was feeling fine. But then each day that went on, I started to feel worse and worse shitty. Like I started to feel kind of off, kind of dizzy, kind of like out of it, like kind of like my brain was like having like fuzzy brain. So these are all ascension symptoms, but they're all energy symptoms. They're all energetic. They have to do with when the sun does its weird stuff, or when the Schumann resonance on the earth, which is the heartbeat of the earth, the Schumann resonance, when that thing spikes or it drops really low, it will cause people to have similar. You'll have problems sleeping. Like everybody that went on this, when I was in several groups actually where people were posting over the last week, they couldn't sleep at all week long. And I think you were one of them, weren't you? That said you were having sleeping problems. So we're like awake all night. We can't sleep. We'd have intermittent sleep, a lot of like hot sweats, like people who never had sweats before suddenly having sweats,
Yeah.
just all kinds of things happening. When you hear a 20-year-old girl having sweats, which you would get when you're in menopause, there's something weird going on. Dizziness, foggy brain, feeling like the room is spinning, that a lot of people posting about that, weird headaches, weird pressure in their third eye, weird pressure in people's heads, weird tingling sensations, weird vibrating sensations.
Mhm.
These are all a combination of ascension symptoms, or the sun, the thing from the sun, or the Schumann resonance. All three of those things will affect your physical body. So let's tell them now, Sandra, what they can do so that it's easier for them. Because
Okay.
they need to know.
So for me, being aware of it, now
Mhm.
my body tells me first, and
Mhm.
then later I may get confirmation on something I might see, hear, or whatever. And we probably have a lot of some of the mutual people we follow, and I'll be like, oh, well, that made sense today. But for me personally, I have to override. So if I'm in bed and I'm wide awake and feeling almost like I drank some kind of or injected some kind of fuel, I'm just wide awake, I have to really go within and command my body to allow it to produce the endorphins for pain, serotonin, dopamines, whatever it is that I need, and to allow my body to try to relax, to override it, and to know that those heart palpitations are going to pass, that I'm fine, even though it sounds like it's drumming through my ears because it's deaf and quiet in the middle of the night. You still can go in and just kind of talk to yourself a lot. And then during the day, there was only one day I was so groggy that I literally had my coat, my shoes on to leave the house. And I had to say, I can't operate a vehicle right now. And took me 45 more minutes for the woo to come back on. And I just know that it's going on, so I can just go within and self soothe, and then ask my body before I eat or drink anything and bless it to raise the vibrations of that, and just accept the fact that my body is it's recycling. It's just recycling stuff, and it's got to go with the flow. It's like stepping, into the ocean. You got to kind of move your body in and out of the waves, or you're going to get knocked over, right? So I just I want to go as peaceful and as moving as I can, and bounce and allow my body to flow, versus locking up and wondering what the hell is happening here. And I do say that after it goes on for a couple of days, I'm like, enough, okay, enough, stop. But yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Wow. So
And I made my own grid. I made another grid with some stones and a candle, and yeah, those kind of things.
Good. Yeah, the grid stuff is awesome. So I want to talk about what I was doing, just so people can understand, so I could make it through without dying or leaving the earth and saying, I'm done, I'm out of here, because it was overwhelming. So I kind of created my little shaman bag. I have these little bags all over the house, or little fabric bags. I put some special crystals in there that were empowerment crystals. I have my Merkaba powered up, and I kept that in my pocket, and that was really helpful. I did a lot of breathing, because that's one of the things when I'm teaching meditation, breathing is a huge part of it. And so with the heart palpitations, the biggest thing you need to do to help them stop is do really, really deep belly breathing. So you can breathe in to your belly, where your lower belly puffs up, not your chest. So you don't breathe into your chest. You don't do chest breathing. You breathe into your lower belly, where when you breathe in, your belly goes out and your chest goes up. And when you breathe out, your belly goes in towards your spine and your belly. And what you do is you breathe in for a count of like 7, you hold it for a second, and then you breathe out really slow for a count of 8. And you can do what's called circle breathing or square breathing. And when you do these types of breathings, they're also called pranayamas. It helps to reset your autonomic nervous system. Okay. It helps reset your nervous system. So you do the slow breathing. You can also listen to 528 hertz frequencies or binaural beats or Rife frequencies that are for nervous system. If you look it up on YouTube, there's all these calming the nervous system videos you can listen to. And if you just focus on the music and focus on your breathing and just breathing through the music, that will also help you. That really helps me when I'm in trouble. Like yesterday, I was in deep doo-doo. I was a mess. And so I had to pull every single tool out of my belt. I had to do the crystals. I prayed. I did some toning with my voice, oh, and that, just different types of toning, different types of toning to get my nervous system to reset, because it was just going to freaking bonkers from all of the coronal mass ejection from the sun. So to reset all of that, I did the breathing, I had the crystals, I prayed, I drank some chamomile tea, which is really calming and soothing for your nervous system. You can also do Melissa lemon balm and passion flower. Those are herbs, those 3 herbs, really calming to your nervous system. They'll also make you fall asleep. So if you need to operate heavy machinery like a car, I don't recommend it. If you can sit around all day and do nothing, then I recommend it. Or if you're going to sleep at night, I definitely recommend it. Magnesium glycinate is really, really powerful for calming down your nervous system, making sure you have your electrolyte balance, and drinking plenty of water during this time, and maybe putting a pinch of salt in your water. So what they call Soleil water, making Soleil water, which makes your body absorb the water better, because we need a lot of water when we're getting hit with these huge energy waves. So that was what I was doing. I also eat lighter when we have these energy crazy things happen. I eat a lot lighter than I normally do. So I had instead of having some big, really rich gravy, sausage, whatever kind of thing, I had something like a little bit of chicken and a little bit of Greek salad, something really light, or some vegetable soup, maybe like vegetable barley soup, something very, very, very light, that makes you feel good, and make sure that you get enough protein, whether you're vegan, whether you're not vegan, whether you eat meat. Make sure you're getting enough protein, because you need to have your body balanced. And I also take a lot of really good supplements. I take my vitamin C, my quercetin, my zinc, all of my multivitamins, my B complex vitamins, and that really helps. Because if I miss a day, I notice my energy really plunges. And then if we have these energy things happening and you're not taking enough vitamins and supplements to help you out, it's going to make you slump even worse. So I highly recommend water, breathing, meditating, listening to the high frequency musics, eating food that your body feels good with at the time. Because when I'm going through these shifts, I notice there's certain foods that if I put them in my mouth, it makes me want to throw up, like it makes me nauseous. So when your body's shifting with the energy, there's a lot of foods you're going to find out that you can't do. I had to go totally off alcohol with this ascension, because ever since my body started going through ascension, the more I'm ascending, the less I'm able to drink alcohol. It literally makes my stomach burn like it's on fire, and my throat and my mouth. Like the minute I put the alcohol in my mouth, my whole mouth is burning, my throat is burning, and my stomach's burning. My husband loves whiskey. He collects all these different types of whiskeys. And I have to admit, back in the day, I used to like trying out all the whiskeys.
Sip it.
Just sip like a sip of a whiskey, or I'd like to have like a Kahlua and coffee or something, or a Bailey's, something like that. I can't have any of that anymore. I can't touch it. I can't even touch it.
I hear you. And I didn't know you were going to go into this much of a detail, but I have a whole lot of supplements I take. I also turn all my electronics on airplane mode at night. And I drink magnesium ashwagandha at night. And then I will admit it, and I'm not an Advil girl, but I have had to take some Advil, and I do a lot of additional stretching. So in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, sometimes you'll find me on the floor, just breathing and stretching and just really elongating and calming the body. And the salt in the water is excellent, because if you think about when you're cooking, the salt takes the water into like a pasta or a piece of chicken or even a steak if you're grilling it or whatever it is that you eat. The salt pulls the water into the meat, mixing it with its flavor. Okay, so what a little pinch of Himalayan salt, and don't overdo it, look it up, don't take my advice, look up a recipe, whatever kind you want to do, and just put a little bit in some water, and then it allows for all the nutrients that you're taking to be pulled into the muscle, which also hydrates the muscles too. So most of us are dehydrated. And when all these changes are happening right now, if there's one thing I will say has increased tenfold for me, and that is thirst, dry mouth and thirst. And they say once you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Well, I'm talking like puckered up, suck the lemon feeling sometimes. So I'm like, ooh, ooh. But if you're not pulling it into your muscles, you're flushing it straight through the body, flushing out nutrients. You're overworking the kidneys and the bladder. And then you're up all night regardless. But you don't want to tax the body. So just look into some ways that the Himalayan salt water can assist you, and do it according to that. I am not a medical practitioner, and I don't play one on these videos.
Yeah, I'm not either. And we're not doctors. So you need to listen to your body and go to your doctor. And when we're talking about ascension symptoms, I always tell people rule it out with your doctor first, because if you're having heart palpitations and stuff, you could have an actual heart problem. Because I did have one many years ago. I got one when I was pregnant with my daughter. I developed a very dangerous arrhythmia, and I had to go to the ER like all the time and have my heart restarted. It was really, I almost died. It was very bad. And when I gave birth to both my kids, I almost passed away both times. It was very, very awful and horrible experience. And so you have to listen to your body, and you need to go see a doctor and rule it out. How you know it's ascension symptoms really is when you're having these symptoms, you go to the doctor and the doctor shake their head and go, there's nothing wrong with you. You're fine. We don't know what's wrong with you. Then you can go, okay, I'm having ascension symptoms. So we're not here as doctors. We can't diagnose, we can't treat, we can't recommend. Whatever you do, that's up to you, not up to us. But please be careful with yourselves and really listen to your bodies.
Yes. Yes. And thank you, Kimberly, for having me on and having this chit chat. And we're here for you guys. And, you're dealing with the same things we're dealing with. And, there might be topics that we don't really want to talk about, but we felt today was a good day to bring some of these up to you, to let you know that we're not ignoring it. We're not in denial. We just have to honor what our mission is and our purpose and our tasks are, that spirit we've designed to be here. And it's not necessarily over here in the financial lane or in the medical lane or something else, but it doesn't mean we're ignoring it. We're very versed on it and very aware of it, but we're also maintaining and honoring our jobs so that we can be the best for you when you come to us. So I will end with saying that.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. Because I couldn't have said that better myself. I agree with everything she just said.
And I agree with everything that she just said, that she agreed with me.
Yeah, we both agree. No, we're both on the same sheet of paper. And if you do, so what, before we go, why don't you tell people, like what you can do to help them and how they get a hold of you?
Well, they just go to my website, which is embodimentofthesoul.com. Okay. And there's a couple sessions on there. I'm going to be adding some more. So I have sacred healing, which is advanced Reiki and intuitive healing. And then there's an embodiment of the soul, which just allows you to get introduced to your soul, really understand what your soul's mission is. And it can deal a little bit with a past life, with hypnosis and many other tools that are in there, but it was created by spirit. And it's customized to the need of the client. So I'm not big on titles and embellishment of things. It is what it is. You just have to try it out, period.
Yep, absolutely. And Sandra's just a beautiful soul and a soul sister, and I love her so
As are
much.
you.
So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you.
My
I love
pleasure.
you all. And if you guys want a private session with me, or you want to sign up for one of my many classes on anything from energy healing workshop to meditation to past life regression, anything like that, those are on my
Yeah.
website, spiritualgrowthjourneys.com. If you don't have a copy of my books, which will help you make it through this whole process without
And they're
face
good
punching.
books.
Yeah, you gotta
Easy
have these
reads,
books.
easy reads.
Yeah.
Larger print too, for those who
Yep.
have to squint sometimes.
Yeah. Ascension 101, a roadmap for your soul, and the real fountain of youth. I don't make a bunch of money off of those. I don't do this for fame or money or anything. I wrote those books to help you all. One of them took me 5 years actually of my life to write it. So I did that for you guys to help you to make it through the next 1,000 years or however long we all get to stick around on this earth, because things are going to get better. And if you all follow that guy that I was telling you about, if you find his link and you go watch his video, he talks about next year, starting 2023 for 20 years, it's going to be awesome. Like the energy, because the energy goes in 20-year segments. So the last 20 years have been horrible. And then the next 20 years are going to be like really awesome. And actually 2023 is going to be amazing. And he also talks about when you can travel this year, when you'll be able to travel and all kinds of stuff.
I want to get that link. I'll put it in on my post as well.
Yeah, it's really good. I was in agreement with everything he said in his video. I was like 100%. In fact, I want to maybe have him on my channel if I can get him on here, because he's amazing. He's like, I was blown away by him. I'm like, oh my God, this guy gets everything. He's so good. I was just so blown away with him. So,
well, it's nice to hear other people's perspectives. and then just I'm actually tired of half the people that are out there right now spewing the crap they're spewing, because I see straight through it and I'm like, how do you have all these followers? There must be mindless. But I'm like, that's their journey, not mine. So yeah, I'll get that link from you. I'm just going to go ahead and sign off on my recording before you do yours.
Okay, so thanks everybody for being with us. Please like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. Go over to Sandra's channel. I will post a link to Sandra's stuff in my description, and
I'll have Kimberly's in mine.
For me, have a couple links, but yeah, we will cross link ourselves here. So thank you all.
And teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, and we love you all. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't even be here. We're here for you. We're not here for ourselves to hear ourselves talk. We are here to teach you, to help you, to support you in all your needs right now. So, yep. Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.